Are you gonna go to talk with Putin before your deadline coming? I mean, 10 days war in the...
Well, we'll see what happens. We're going to have some meetings, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah?
Mr.
President, you said the jobs report today were rigged. What
I think so. And if you look at before the election, the same kind of thing happened. And I think you'll see some very interesting information come out. But you have to have honest reports. And when you look at those numbers, or when you look at just before the election, and then after the election, they corrected it by 800,000 or 900,000 jobs. Yeah, I would say so.
Korea and the United States.
We have a great relationship.
Let me talk, sir, and when do you have it?
Yeah, we have a great relationship with South Korea.
You said,
are you ready? Are you open to negotiate with Brazil? The Brazilian President Lula said he would like to call you. He requested a conversation. Would you talk to him now?
He can talk to me anytime he wants.
So are you open to tariffs?
Yeah, he can talk to me anytime he wants.
What is on the table for Brazil?
Well, we'll see what happens, but I love the people of Brazil.
What evidence do you have?
Mr. President, why you send the
I love the people of Brazil.
So why do
two Marines
tariffs? They don't
close
seem
to
to be
Russia.
related to trade,
Because
Mr.
the
President.
people running Brazil did the wrong thing.
What evidence do you have? What say that was rigged?
7 years. 7 years from the time that you learned that people were being stolen from Mar-a-Lago to the time that you picked up, that you took Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, I don't understand your question.
Where are the submarines being deployed? The nuclear submarines.
Say it?
Where are being deployed the nuclear submarines?
Oh yeah, well we had to do that. We just have to be careful. And a threat was made and we didn't think it was appropriate, so I have to be very careful. So I do that on the basis of safety for our people. A threat was made by a former president of Russia, and we're going to protect our people.
President Trump, will Hillary Clinton finally be investigated for election fraud?
I hope so. I hope so. I don't know whether or not that'll happen, but I hope so.
Mr. President, why did you fire the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics?
Because I think her numbers were wrong. Just like I thought her numbers were wrong before the election. Days before the election, she came out with these beautiful numbers for Kamala. I guess Biden/Kamala. And she came out with these beautiful numbers trying to get somebody else elected. Then right after the election, I think on the 15th, November 15th, she had an $800,000 or $900,000 massive reduction. Said she made a mistake. No, that woman's numbers are. Say it. Yeah, one of the governors, as you know, of the Federal Reserve has just announced she's resigning. I understand it was over the fact that she disagreed with somebody from her party. She disagreed with Too-Late. You know who Too-Late is? Yeah. She disagreed with Too-Late on the interest rate. So we'll see what happens. But we just found out that I have a open spot on the Federal Reserve Board. I'm very happy about that, John.
And what did Medvedev say to you that made you really mad?
Well, you just have to read what he said. He was talking about nuclear. When you talk about nuclear, we have to be prepared, and we're totally prepared.
Mr. President, on the monthly jobs report, going forward, why should anyone trust the numbers?
Well, that's the big thing. You're right. No, you're right. Why should anybody trust numbers? You go back to election day. Look what happened 2 or 3 days before with massive, wonderful job numbers, trying to get him elected or her elected, trying to get whoever the hell was running. Because you go back and they came out with numbers that were very favorable to Kamala, okay? To trying to get him elected, trying to get her elected. And then on the 15th of November or thereabouts, they had an 800,000 or 900,000 overstatement reduction right after the election. It didn't work because you know who won, John? I won.
But here's the thing. Your supporters have had issues with these numbers.
I've had issues with the numbers for a long time. But today's, we're doing so well. I believe the numbers were phony just like they were before the election. And there were other times. So you know what I did? I fired her.
Right.
And you know what? I did the right thing.
If any government official going forward is presenting data or information you don't like, Should they fear for their job?
I've always had a problem with these numbers. You know, I was thinking about it this morning. Before the numbers that came out, I said, who is the person that does these numbers? And then they gave me stats about before the election. I had a similar problem. I mean, she gave out numbers that were so good for the Democrats. It was like unbelievable. And then right after the election, she corrected those numbers with, I think, almost 900,000 corrections. I think nobody had ever seen anything like it. Well, today she did the same thing with the 253,000, whatever the number was. No, we need people that we can trust. I mean, your question is a very good one. We need people we can trust.
What about Switzerland? What would you like to see from Switzerland?
You know who you plan to replace her with?
I've got about 3 very good, I have a lot of good candidates. I will say everybody wants it. I've had more phone calls, but I have 3 people that are.
Do you have a background in labor statistics?
You know, I could do a long-term thing or I could do a temporary. It's a 14-year term.
Right, but do you put someone in who actually has labor statistics experience?
I put somebody in who's going to be honest. That's all we want. I have a choice. I can have 4 months. I can do a short term, or I can do a 14-year deal. So we'll see. We have a lot of people. We get a lot of good people around.
Can I ask you a construction question?
That was the stock, the tariff rate with Switzerland. It was higher than other European.
Well, the problem with Switzerland, we have a $40 billion deficit with Switzerland, and I spoke yesterday to Switzerland, but we have a $40 billion deficit with Switzerland. That's a big deficit.
Question on the construction. Can I ask you a question on the construction? You say you're raising $200 million. You're donating a bunch. Others are as well. Are you blocking foreigners from donating money to build that addition?
Honestly, I never even thought of it, but it doesn't matter. I'm putting up my money, but it doesn't even matter. They've wanted a ballroom at the White House, and it's been very popular. You know, when we put it out yesterday.
You're not ruling out that a crown prince or some European
I'm not looking for that. You know, you have very strong restrictions as to who can donate, and we go by the restrictions.
It's
not a lot of. I mean, it's not that much money.
Will you release the names of the donors?
Yeah, I'll do that. I didn't even start yet, by the way. But when I do, I'll release the names.
How many donors do you think it's going to take to get the $200 million?
Maybe 1, me. But
you would cut that check yourself.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Did you talk to Steve Witkoff today from his journey to Gaza? Did you talk to Steve Witkoff?
I did. I spoke to Steve Witkoff. We had a great meeting with a lot of people, and the primary meeting was on food. And he also had some other conversations that I'll tell you about later. But he had a meeting on getting the people fed, and that's what we want. And I'll see you later on. Well, I understand India no longer is going to be buying oil from Russia. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's right or not, but that's a good step. We'll see what happens, okay?
How is your health?
On tariffs, obviously the Treasury is taking in so much money right now. Some Republicans have been pushing for tariff checks to go out. The basic idea is move the money back. Any
no, there are a lot of people that would like to see us do sort of a dividend to the people of our country. It's something I'd consider.
How much would people?
I want to pay off debt, but there's a possibility I'd do a dividend.
Can I ask something about on tariffs, obviously there's